Alright, welcome back everybody. This is MDawg, and I just wanted to make a quick video here on this carp spot we've been fishing on Amber Lake. I got in a little bit of time yesterday, and then again today I've had a couple hours to try out this spot, and it's been pretty good. I think there are other spots right now that are also decent in Amber. I'm not sure that anything is like setting the world on fire. The thing about this spot, and we're at 124.65, and we're at a clip of about 40. Direction wise, we're casting a little north of west out there. If you look on the map, kind of towards the 5-meter hole or just right of it. I know Crispy has been fishing this spot. Midget Captain also was pumping info to me about sort of their experiences on this spot. Still using, as we have lately, different combinations of black currant and mulberry. Basically a mulberry based approach in terms of the dip we're using, and at least one of the pop-up boilies being mulberry, and pairing it with black currant. Typically on the third rod I've tried some various things. Actually, right now I've got a maggot rig set up with purple corn and a bunch of maggots. I don't know what kind of, if that's a decent fish on that second rod, on that third rod or not. This one seems to be pretty decent from the way it's coming in. I'm hoping it's a 10+ kilo carp. There have definitely been some frame-sided trophies caught here. If you look at the weeklies, I believe a lot of those frame trophies may be coming from this or a very similar spot to this. One of the first fish that I hooked into here actually popped off, and it was really big. So I've seen some big ones, but today I haven't had anywhere near trophies. Yesterday I had a couple of close calls, but today it's been pretty consistent. It's a fun carp spot at the moment. Just not too much downtime between bites. Again, not on fire, but but overall pretty healthy spot. So hopefully we can get this fish in, maybe get the other one in, and I may go ahead and just sort of respawn back at town and kind of see how we're doing. There was actually a frame trophy in the cafe, so I was hoping we might get lucky with a spot producing frame trophies and a cafe order for one, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But I did want to make a quick video here just kind of showing this. I will show my the PVA I'm using. The PVA I'm using is not, I think other folks have been using different PVAs in this spot. I'm still sort of going through some of the old mulberry mixes that I've made in the past. So nothing about the mulberry mix I'm using is necessarily like special in this spot, but I'll show you a couple of different ones I've used, and both have seemed to work fine. I think if you're complementing the mulberry or the black currant in your PVA mix, then you're probably okay in this spot. Yeah, this looks like a decent little carp there. Add him to the list of fish we've caught here. So that's a 14 kilo mirror. Okay, let's see what's on this other one. And I had just put this in terms of the maggot rig. Really not enough time to test it, but it got a pretty quick bite since I put it on, so that's a good sign. We're getting a little mulberry dip anyway, so I was gonna have to head back to town soon, so I figured this is a good time to just make a quick video, and then we'll go from there. I don't know if I'll come back out and fish this spot some more on my own time or not. There's other spots I'd like to try out right now here and at Octuba mainly, but we'll see. Oh, maybe we'll get another fish there on the first line too. I can show you the stuff while we're waiting to see if this is gonna. So that's a pretty good leather for a little maggot rig. That's a good sign. So let's take a look at the PVA. Okay, so this is the PVA I've been using. It's got a bunch of crushed boilies in it. This is the other PVA I've used. Again, any of this stuff seems to have worked good. This is still complementing the mulberry, but instead of having a bunch of crushed boilies in it, it's got more of like more pellets with that corn. I think that was someone else's recipe. I actually added the crushed pop-up boilies to it. You could put clay in it instead, just instead of putting crushed boilies in there. Both of those work. I mean, I really think anything in terms of like complementing the mulberry and the black currant is gonna do pretty well for you here. All right, let's get this fish in, and then we'll see how we've done in terms of silver. It's a good spot. It's not great, but it's good. It's fun. I really was wanting to fish carp, and by the way, I'm using a clay setup, but I was in the process of testing this area with my marker rod, and it looked like there's a shell bed that we may be casting on to or close to a shell bed. So to kind of get honed in, we might consider more of a some of the shell coloration on some of our the parts of our rig. But like I said, you know, this is mulberry 20 and blackcurrant 18 with mulberry dip and that same PVA I showed you. Don't necessarily get locked into like specific ones. I've tried a lot of different combinations, double mulberry, different sized mulberry, different sized blackcurrant. Everything seems to be working here, at least from what I'm seeing. Seems like a pretty good spot. Okay, I'll be right back at town and we will see how we did. Make sure that nothing changed in the cafe, and if not, then we'll just kind of see how we did on silver. But with the frequency that those frame trophies seem to be coming out, if I'm not sure how much time's left on the frame carp order, but it's a reasonable gamble to try to hook into a frame trophy right now out of that spot with sort of some kind of blackcurrant mulberry combination. People are catching them, so it's not unrealistic to think that it could come out for you during the cafe time. I think last time I looked there was maybe 60 hours left, which means there's probably only like 20 hours left now. So by the time you see this video, it just may be too late on that, but even without that, I would say it's a really nice spot. If you don't have a frame trophy, I don't know that I have a frame trophy yet. It's a opportunity to knock that off the list. And I might get baited back up and head back out there too. I'm just going to have to see how the night goes. All right. So frame-sided carp, 25 kilo, 429 silver, still has, yep, 20 hours. I was right on the time. And that's pretty much it right now. There's a grass carp order. All right, let's see how we did. First, I'll show you the fish, and then we'll see what they're all worth. We got 38 fish. And several commons. Some of them small, but also some decent sized ones. The frames are definitely coming out. One leather, one linear, and quite a few mirrors as well. Which, when you start seeing that ratio of fish, you know that there's potential of getting some pretty decent silver there because of the specific carp species that are coming out. So 474, let's look here. It was less than 2 hours of fishing, so not bad. You could I think you could do better in that spot. I think that's I think that spot is a little better than what that looks like, but that's still pretty good silver. It still puts us up over 11K now as we're saving up for our replacement reel, our Tagara. Okay, as always, thank you for watching. If I didn't, I think I said it at the beginning, but just to make sure, that was 124.65 with a 40-meter clip towards that 5-meter hole. All right, see you next time.